Whoa, we really did get teleport. Let's take a look around and see what we can find. So many woven scrolls here? I remember seeing some of them before. This one really stands out from the... Yeah, you're right! Over there, something just flashed. Traveler, did you catch that? Oh, right! Paimon's... Looks like our ticket out of this place. Whew! We finally made it out!
It is just as I thought. You are indeed capable of undertaking this mission. Yes. You saw many distinctive-looking scrolls there, didn't you?
Sure did.
This specific kind of scroll was left to us by our ancestors. Upon investigation, I discovered what sets it apart is the use of a color not featured in ordinary scrolls. It is a most mysterious color that most people cannot even detect. I myself had to employ special techniques to confirm its existence. Yet there are those who are born with a natural ability to perceive it. And that is why I wanted to test you.
You mean...
That space you just entered was an exhibition room for storing this variety of woven scrolls. Centuries ago, a great shaman by the name of Xilonen put in place a security measure so that anyone who entered the room without permission will become trapped inside. It exists to this day, And although I have not managed to decipher how it works, I have at least found out how to turn it on and off. Once someone is trapped inside, it is all but impossible for them to escape without outside help. Unless they share the great shaman's ability to perceive that strange color. Clearly, you must have this ability, which leads me to believe that our Ictomisaur Elder can sense this ability in people.
Another secret power? Traveler, you are full of mysteries. Still, having this ability doesn't change the fact that neither of us know where to start with weaving a scroll.
Don't worry about that. The method for weaving this kind of scroll appears to be largely the same as for an ordinary scroll. The main difference is in the dye that gives it its unique color. If my suspicions are correct, this dye is the key to weaving the scroll, and your special ability is the key to obtaining it. The dyeing process is also a little different from the norm, but I don't anticipate any major issues there. As long as you two can source the dye itself, I can assist with the application.
Cool! We'll follow your lead!
Great! Then please use your abilities to source the necessary ingredients. And in the meantime, I will have someone prepare some fabric for test dyeing. We'll make a few sample pieces to test out my hypothesis. And if that goes well, we can begin the scroll in earnest. If you agree to help, you can expect to be handsomely rewarded once this is all over. So...
Agreed! Especially if there's a reward in it. What is the reward, by the way? Is it food? Paimon hopes it's food.
Given the stakes involved for our tribe, I was thinking a substantial sum of mora would be appropriate. Surely that would be preferable to just a free meal.
Mora works too! Anyway, how do we go about finding these ingredients? Are we supposed to just keep walking around Natlan until we stumble across them?
Thankfully not. I've already identified a location where I suspect they may be found. And I've arranged for someone to guide you there. Your guide is waiting just outside. You can set off at your leisure.
You can only do so much on your own, but with a group, anything's possible. Off we go! Woohoo!
I take it you're the ones appointed by Elder Talapo?
Yep, and you are...
Call me Toltec. The chief asked me to be your guide for the day. His messengers already filled me in on the situation, so just follow me.
So the dye is somewhere in this cave, huh?
This is as far as I can take you. Only the appointed ones may proceed from here.
Why's that?
Kind of a long story. Apparently, there's a certain fruit that grows in this cave, the juice of which can be processed to make an excellent dye. Many years ago, our ancestors set out to make a series of ambitious works of graffiti art. They selected this cave to make them in, presumably due to the availability of the dye. However, they didn't want anyone to see their work before it was completed. And so they sealed off the entrance to control access. To bypass the seal, you have to have mastered the art of color perception, or something like that.
Oh, right.
The strange thing is, our ancestors never removed the seal, even after they finished the graffiti art. Since it was sealed off, the only person who's been inside is the great shaman, Xilonen, and that was 300 years ago. According to her, the artwork tells the story of a hero by the name of Kuntur. But I digress. Sorry, I'm a big fan of graffiti artwork. Once I get talking, I can go on for hours.
So you're sure you don't want to come with us?
I'll pass. I tried to get in once, but the seal blocked my way. I tried getting my Xilonen to clear it with its powers, but even that didn't work. I guess it's supposed to be a test left there by our ancestors. If you don't pass the test, you're not worthy of viewing their works of art.
Aww.
Don't worry about me, though. I wouldn't be joining you this time even if I was able to get in. Unlike our chief, I don't have the guts to challenge our traditions. This task is specifically appointed to someone by the Xilonen Elder. Who knows what bad things might happen if I got involved?
Fair enough. All right, we'll try not to take too long. Looks like there's no way past. Maybe try the same thing as before? Hey, it worked! Let's head in and take a look. This should be the place. That fruit Toltec mentioned should be the one on the wall, right? Now the only question is, which ones do we pick? Well, go ahead, try it out!
Need a surfboard? I told you today's our lucky day.
I knew you couldn't resist!
I see everything. Booba, get them!
Here come! Here come!
The night wind blows! The night wind blows!
Everyone hold it. Let's ride!
The best stuff's always at the bottom. Need a surfboard?
I see everything.
Stabilize!
The most important part of going out to have fun is, well, going out. So just show up and I'll handle the rest. Whoa! The best stuff's always at the bottom. The most important part of going out to have fun is, well, going out. So just show up and I'll handle the rest. Faster! Need a surfboard? Let's ride! Yeah!
Certainly worth the extra mile.
Woohoo!
You saw something, right? Whatever it was, grab it. Remember the last time we came here? We found all of the artwork throughout the cave. These guys' ancestors created a real masterpiece. They probably used the same stuff for their paint as we're using for the dye, right? Yep, let's head back and meet up with Toltec.
Faster! Need a surfboard? Off we go. Off we go. Need a surfboard?
We're back, and we found the ingredients for the dye.
Sounds like you made it through the seal then. It's getting late. Follow me. I'll take us back.
Let's ride!
Toltec has updated me on your progress. Well done. I appreciate your efforts.
Sure thing. Here's the stuff for the dye.
I see. Yes. This is certainly a very different substance from typical dyes.
Got it.
Please come with me.
Carving waves!
Take a look at this. It's a woven scroll made by one of our ancestors. This is the kind of thing we're trying to make.
Ooh.
The person depicted is the legendary shaman, Xilonen. She lived 200 years ago and was once appointed by the Iktomi Elder. Like yours, she was especially skilled in the art of color manipulation, and of course completed her task with flying colors. This scroll is a record of her deeds, and was most likely the work of her own hand. Sadly, since she passed away, all of our Iktomi Elder's subsequent appointees have had to rely on the gift from the spirits to complete their work. That's a good way of putting it. My only quibble with your phrasing would be, it's not just me, but us.
Now Paimon's getting excited.
Bring out the samples. Now, as I mentioned, the dyeing process is a little complicated, but I am confident you will manage. Just make sure to follow my instructions carefully. The pattern has already been sketched out on the sample, so you just need to dye each block with the correct color. But you'll need to wait for the dye to fully soak in between each step to make... Ha ha ha! Good! The dye has taken to the fabric, and the pattern is crisp and clear. Next, apply all the remaining dye, and we should see that elusive signature color emerge.
Okay, final step. Did it work? Paimon doesn't see it.
Oh, that color isn't showing up. Oh, the dyeing has failed. No, your technique was flawless. You did everything exactly as instructed. It would have made no difference if I'd done it myself.
Then what went wrong?
It could be the weaving technique, or maybe the dye has to be applied in a different way. Oh, whatever the case, it looks like I have failed to get to the bottom of this mystery.
Sorry, Paimon wishes we could do more to help.
I am the one who should be apologizing. I made you do so much work, and it was for nothing. I will, of course, honor my commitment to compensate you for your trouble, but I do hope you won't give up on this task.
Don't worry, we're not quitters. Paimon does have a question, though. This whole process of recording history on woven scrolls seems so complicated. Why don't you just write it down instead? You said yourself you're all about change and reform. Well, this seems like a pretty good place to start, don't you think? Writing...
I think you've perhaps misunderstood my philosophy, but that's okay. I can answer your question, but there's somewhere I need to show you first.
Oh, sure.
Cool. Look at this view. What do you think?
It's gorgeous!
Now, try looking a little further.
Whoa, that graffiti!
In all the years since the founding of our tribe, those colors have been with us every step of the way. It is true that I seek to bring new life to this ancient tribe through change and reform. But I also understand there are certain foundational things that we cannot afford to throw away. The foremost of these is the way we record our history.
Oh, that makes sense.
Since the very beginnings, our tribe has always sought to bring color to history. And I have a deep sense that this is one part of our heritage that we should not give up. So, whatever it takes, I must find a way for us to continue producing our traditional woven scrolls.
You're completely right. Paimon's sorry for what she said earlier. It was out of line.
It's quite all right. I'm just grateful you're able to understand where I'm coming from. Then let us hope that when we next meet, we succeed in reviving this tradition.
Whoa! Whoa! Let's ride! Need a surfboard? Carving waves!
Huh? What are the Fatui doing here? That's a little concerning. Let's go over there and see what they're up to. Also, how did they get this close to a tribal settlement? Huh. All the Fatui left in Natlan are probably the captain's subordinates. That basically makes them followers of one of Natlan's heroes. Still, once a Fatus, always a Fatus. Something seems off seeing them here. Let's go check it out. Ahem! What are you guys doing here?
Following orders. If you have a problem, take it up with our employer.
Hey, what's with the attitude? Can the Fatui even work for a private employer?
This is Grudok. I hired him to be my bodyguard in Natlan. As you can see, he's not the sociable type. I'm sorry for any offense. My original plan was to hire someone from the local tribes, but a priest recommended Grudok and his squad. I was told they were capable fighters and had the time to spare, so they fit the bill.
So that's what happened. Then you must be from Fontaine?
Precisely! Montluçon, at your service. I work in the publication business. And you two... Wait, you must be the traveler and his fairy companion.
Oh, you know us?
A golden-haired traveler with a floating companion. There's no mistake. Your exploits in Fontaine have all the makings of a best-selling series. I'd be a failure of a book merchant if I couldn't recognize you.
Wow, we're really famous at this point, Traveler.
It's truly my lucky day. I know this is sudden, but I was actually looking for you two. You see, I have a favor to ask.
So, you chased us all the way to Natlan? That's a little creepy.
You'll be generously rewarded, I promise you.
Well, at least he got straight to the point. Should we hear what he has to say? All right, we'll hear your request.
You know the great shaman Xilonen, right? I need her help with something.
Yeah, but the chances of her helping a random stranger just because we asked? Yeah, see, Lolly really doesn't like dealing with strangers.
I heard about that from other members of her tribe. But they told me if one person could convince her, it would be the golden-haired traveler. If you manage it, I'll even double your pay.
Oh yeah, we should definitely get to the bottom of that first.
It's kind of a long story, and there's tribal history involved, so you should hear it from an expert. Allier, if you could.
Of course. I don't often have an eager audience for this kind of thing. Nice to meet you. The name's Allier. I'm a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute. Unlike most researchers, I have a keen interest in ancient ruins. That's why I was invited to join Monsieur Montluçon's team. Have you heard of the legend of the great shaman Xilonen? Yes, according to local records, she was a color mystic who lived over 200 years ago, and the most adept in her tribe at using that particular technique. Out of all of her exploits, her most celebrated is the Battle of Seven Colors. According to legend, the battle was triggered by an abyss invasion, one of the most brutal in Natlan's history, even from a greater historical perspective. Amazingly, Natlan was able to turn the tide despite being at an extreme disadvantage. The key to victory was none other than a color Xilonen created on the battlefield. The color was extraordinary, illusory in appearance while also seeming to possess physical form. Legend has it that Xilonen used the color to construct a magnificent maze on the battlefield and trap all the enemies inside. This allowed her allies to launch a counterattack and ultimately secure victory.
Anyway, that's the gist of it. We don't want to take up too much of your time. That story is the reason I came to Natlan. I often publish books about the history of other nations. They always end up faring well on the market. When I heard this story for the first time, I wanted to include it in my next collection, but historical records about Natlan aren't very detailed. We haven't been able to determine where the battle took place, or find any definitive evidence that it occurred at all. Even within the Masters of the Night Wind, people dispute the legitimacy of the story. Some believe it to be a myth. If that were the case, the story would not be fit for publication.
But if you're just including it in a story collection, why does it matter if it never happened?
Well, you see, the slogan for the collection is Restoring the Truth of History. Naturally, I needed to be factual. That's why I'm here. The Masters of the Nightwind are said to have a tradition of recording past events, so I wanted to consult their records. But I was refused access to the Obsidian Altar. Application after application, and all I received were a few ordinary woven scrolls with nothing to offer. Honestly, I'm just trying to promote their history, and they make such a fuss.
According to my research, their scrolls are considered sacred relics in addition to historical records. Naturally, outsiders are rarely granted access. Not to mention, the scrolls we did get to review actually contain a huge amount of information. I just need more time, and I could...
We've been over this, Allier. There's no need to waste time on those scrolls when we have a better way.
Sweet Lolly, you mean?
Exactly. You're well aware, I'm sure, that Xilonen has been alive for more than 200 years. That means she lived during the era of the Battle of Seven Colors. If she agrees to be my consultant, then no other historical records are necessary.
Oh, that's what you want.
So, what do you say? I'll quadruple the pay if it helps sweeten the deal.
Well, it's not that we don't want to help you. Oh, right! The duty the chief gave us has a lot to do with Xilonen. Who knows? The Battle of Seven Colors might lead us in the right direction. All right, we'll help you convince Xilonen. Just let us do the talking, okay?
Of course.
Grow! Boba, get them!
Solidify!
Amazing! Dada Kundala.
So, this is where the great shaman lives? A bit far from civilization, isn't it? I hope the person who pointed us in this direction wasn't mistaken.
For someone like Xilonen, it actually makes a lot of sense.
Is this graffiti her work too? I wonder if it's a cultural practice. If I could just copy it down,
We're here for a reason, Allie. As agreed, you two can do the talking, and we'll wait for you here.
Okay, we'll go knock on the door. Hopefully she's not hungover. Xilonen? Are you there? We need your help with something! Oh, no response. Maybe she's not home. Oh, Granny Eatsley? Are you home?
Hey, kid! If you're here to challenge me, book an appointment first. Traveler!
Looks like we came at a bad time.
Are you still there? Just come in. We can talk inside.
Well, at least we didn't get turned away. Huh. So this is where Xilonen lives.
I, didn't have time to fully clean up the place. Complain if you want. Menial housework means nothing to a great shaman like myself. Besides, in light novels, people who keep everything neat and tidy are always too boring to be the protagonists. Also, I'm not a hermit. I'm just above superficial rules of societal etiquette.
She sure does care a lot about what we think of her.
Oh, and that spell I used to transfer my senses to you, you're not still, experiencing the side effects, are you? It's my duty as a great shaman to check that kind of thing.
Oh, you mean when we could hear your thoughts? Nope. It's been so long, we don't have to worry about that anymore, right?
Then why do I hear the traveler's thoughts in my head?
What?
I can still hear you, you know. Don't bother. I'll find a way to fix it. First you hear my thoughts, now I'm hearing your thoughts. It was just a simple spell. I use it on you, and now it's on the Fritz. Forget it. Just tell me why you're here.
Well, someone asked us to ask you to be their consultant. They have questions about the history of Natlan.
So they asked the hero of Natlan to put in a good word? Sounds like they know I don't usually trouble myself with other people's problems.
The pay is really good.
Doesn't matter, I'm busy.
She sure doesn't look busy. Paimon knew this wouldn't get us anywhere.
From you?
Yeah, we were given a sacred duty to help your tribe weave a special scroll.
Huh? So, you're the appointed ones this time?
We were surprised too. After all, we have no idea how to weave a scroll like that. But with Chef Biram's help, we were able to make some progress. We still haven't succeeded, but we learned that the key to weaving the scroll is a special kind of color. The historical event those men want to ask about also involves color. If you help them, you might end up helping us too. She's giving us that face again. Did Paimon not explain things clearly?
I can't decide whether this twist is completely out of the blue or if it was foreshadowed all along.
Does that mean you won't help us?
I need to think about it.
Then there's still hope.
Hey! What's the holdup? Just give us an answer already.
You agreed to let us do the talking! Sweet Lolly!
Stand down, Grudok! As your employer, if I tell you...
Understood.
You're the great shaman who's been alive for centuries? But you're so... Apologies for the disturbance. Grudok is a recent hire, so difficult to restrain sometimes.
He's lucky he didn't force Seat Lolly's hand.
Well, since you're here, how about a discussion?
Do you have any idea who I am? Did you think Granny Eatsley would be fooled by your little performance? I have no intention of speaking to you. Your recent hire interrupted me right as I was about to make an important decision. Pull a trick like that again, and I'll make your lives a living horror novel, except 10 times worse. That's all I came out here to say.
Whoa.
Traveler, we have a discussion to finish.
You live up to your name, Granny Eatsley. I apologize for the offense. I'm just surprised the Battle of Seven Colors didn't pique your interest.
You're investigating the Battle of Seven Colors?
Ah, the Traveler didn't get to that part? Yes, I thought the Traveler could help me convince you. But, if I'm not mistaken, you have a personal interest in this matter, don't you? I heard that the great shaman Xilonen was a friend of yours. You two must have been close. If I can resolve the controversy and prove the battle took place, I'll include it in my next collection. Then, all of Tevat will learn the truth. With your support, your friend's heroic deeds will once again be known throughout the land. Inspiring, don't you?
If this is really about that duty, then... fine. I'll help you.
I'm honored.
Save it. I agreed to help the Traveler, not you. You'll just have to leech what you can.
Well, at least she agreed to help.
Who are you calling heartless?
Not a problem. I always planned to work with the Traveler. So, did you directly experience any events of the battle? Do you have any idea where it took place? Can you think of any relics we could use to prove it?
Talk at me, why don't you? Fine. No, no, and no. I did live during the same era as her, but that doesn't mean we experienced the same events. I've lived a long time, but I'm not a walking encyclopedia. You decide the angle of your investigation, and I'll provide answers if I'm familiar with the subject.
All right. Even if you didn't witness the battle yourself, you still lived through that era. Your insights are very valuable. Alie, you had an idea about where to start, yes?
Oh, well, my plan was to consult the members of the tribe in charge of recording history.
Then, let's start there. Traveler, what do you say to officially working together? After all,
You don't seem super invested in this whole...
The Battle of Seven Colors is something I've only ever heard about. I know as much as anyone else in my tribe.
But how? Weren't you alive when it happened?
I wasn't there when it took place, and she never told me about it. That's how.
But Molusol said the two of you were close friends. The battle was legendary. Why wouldn't Xilonen tell you about it?
Close friends? More like arch rivals. Something Montluçon would know if he actually did his research. Did you see the graffiti outside my house? That's not my doing. All students from Xilonen School of Shamanism must pass an extremely difficult trial before graduation, defeating me in battle. Those graffiti drawings are how they challenge me. Of course, none of them ever succeeded. So, after Xilone's death, her students had no choice but to modify the requirement. Instead of defeating me, all they have to do now is last long enough. As my rival, Xilonen only
we could really use your help.
Okay.
Of course the Battle of Seven Colors happened. The woven scroll proves it. Xilonen used a mysterious color to construct a maze and trap the enemies inside.
That's just your interpretation. There's more than one way to understand that scroll. Besides, constructing a maze out of color is ridiculous.
Xilonen was one of the most powerful shamans of her time. She definitely could have pulled it off.
That's the biggest problem. She had a technique that powerful, and no shaman since has ever used it?
Her students are keeping it a secret, of course. If you knew a technique like that, you'd be a fool to show it to just anyone.
Oh, I didn't mean to cause an argument. I just wanted to ask, is there anything we can use to prove the battle took place?
Of course it took place. Why would you need to prove it?
You'll have to excuse him. Some people in our tribe insist on clinging to outdated views of history.
Please don't fight.
Wow, so the battle really is controversial.
Am I the outdated one? Kids these days can't find anything better to argue about?
These arguments are precisely why I hesitate to include this story in my collection. Neither side was able to offer anything useful.
Xilonen was a passionate teacher. We were opposites in that sense. The technique she used in the battle must have been her masterpiece. There's every reason to pass it on. Still, if the technique is powerful enough to single-handedly stop an invasion, it also makes sense that her disciples would keep it a secret. We should check with the students from her school. If we can confirm the technique exists, we can deduce certain things about the battle.
But as far as I know, most of the shamans from her school occupy high positions in the tribe. Not the type of people outsiders like us can speak to on a whim.
Right. The obsidian altar is off limits to you. But, if I go...
Is there a problem?
Most of Xilonen students are respected priests in the tribe. But that means they had to go through me. Or try, at least. I, of course, humiliated them from a young age. Those who hold the position now are the ones who lasted long enough before I wiped the floor with them. If I show up without warning, they'll run for dear life. That's not gonna get us any answers.
Yeah, Paimon can see it now.
Hey, don't jump to conclusions. That was just a metaphor. Only you have the guts to joke like that with me, Traveler. Fine, I said I'd help, so I'll help. But don't blame me if it goes wrong.
Alright, the rest of you can wait for us here.
We appreciate the help.
Oh, are you in the middle of a ceremony?
Granny Eatsley?
What is she doing here?
Did some coward not show up after challenging her to a fight?
Or is she here to officially take over the tribe?
Whoa. It's like they really do see her as some kind of tyrant.
No matter what, we'll defend our dignity as priests to the end.
Ugh, you talk a big game for someone who lost to me the most out of the entire priesthood.
What?
All I want is to ask some questions.
So, you're here to interrogate us?
Someone didn't sit pretty for their beating? Is that it? You want their name, don't you?
We should just run!
Yeah, with the hero of Natlan here, Granny Eatsley will be on her best behavior.
Sure, whatever you say.
Oh, it's the Traveler and his companion. That does make me feel better. How can we help you?
We wanted to ask about the technique you inherited from Xilonen.
Huh. So you can eradicate our school once and for all?
Disciples of our school have challenged her year after year, just as our master instructed. Sounds like she's finally had enough.
Well, you're not wrong.
If we want to protect our legacy, one of us needs to run.
Not this again. Just how much did you traumatize them, Sweet Lolly?
Hey! You can't just say whatever you want just because it's in your head. I'm Granny Eatsley. A mere mention of my name and kids burst into tears. Love and respect? No one has the guts for that. You know what? Forget about your duty. We really need to fix this mind-reading situation.
Sorry to disappoint, but if you're here to question whether we're qualified to inherit our master's legacy, we're not going down without a fight.
We're not getting anywhere. What should we do, Traveler?
Huh? Oh, it's you.
Elder Tlapo! Oh, we must have disturbed your meditation. Our deepest apologies. Please.
Did Elder Tlapo just issue a declaration?
From what I can tell, in a single word, the message was...
Is Elder Tlapo telling us to treat Granny Eatsley?
That's not possible.
Oh, you forget yourselves, my friends. You are esteemed priests of our tribe. Where are your manners?
But
I didn't expect to see you here, great shaman. My sincere apologies for the lack of hospitality.
Well, I wasn't exactly planning to come to this crowded place. So you can save the pleasantries, Chief. I'd rather get this over with.
Understood. Now, as successors of Xilonen, I understand your friction with Granny Eatsley. However, Elder Tlapo's declarations have always showed us the correct path. You would do well to respect his counsel. So, mind your manners and allow Granny Eatsley to ask her questions.
Good thing Elder Tlapo and Chief Biram are on our side. Hi there, Elder Tlapo! Hey, he seems pretty happy to see us.
He's the one who put you in charge of the scroll, right?
Yeah, Elder Tlapo appointed us to the task.
Elder Tlapo, huh? He's still Claw to me. Hey, don't pull that cutesy stuff with me. You're an Iktomisaur Elder now. You occupy an eminent and important position within the tribe.
So, you already know each other?
Claw was only this big when we first met. He was Xilone's Saurian companion back then. She kept dragging him to my place, so over time, we got to know each other. But she only came to my place to fight me. But at the same time, she always claimed to be my friend. She was the only one who dared to try, at least.
Well, you've lived a long time. You've probably made a bunch of friends over the years, right?
The more time you have, the more friends you lose.
Oh,
Anyway, let's get back to business. I hate talking about the past. 200 years and you still haven't given up, Claw? I still haven't made up my mind, so you should head back. Traveler, Paimon, let's go.
Oh, wait. We haven't reached out since the last time we failed the task.
I'm just grateful you haven't forgotten that duty.
Actually, we have good news. We found another clue.
I'm all ears.
It's the Battle of 7 Colors.
Xilone's claim to fame? That sounds promising. But the battle took place hundreds of years ago. An investigation is bound to be difficult.
True, but Granny Eatsterly promised to help.
Is that so? I've tried seeking her help in the past, but I never managed to coax her out. You should cherish this opportunity.
Hey, don't complain. None of the previous chiefs succeeded either.
Forgive me. That wasn't my intention. It was a comment on my own failings.
Paimon said you've been trying to figure out how to weave the special scroll.
It is my duty, great shaman.
Why bother? The scrolls always end up completed on time. So what's the point of figuring it out for yourself?
If I may, this task concerns the history of Natlan as a whole. And in many ways, history is the memory of a people. Memory is sacred to our tribe. I'm sure a great shaman understands that better than a humble junior like myself. I know you don't concern yourself with the daily affairs of the tribe, Granny Eatsterly.
I get your point. Of course, the one time I wish you could read my mind, it doesn't work. No, that's not it.
Huh?
It's not important. Rest assured, Biram, with my help, the Traveler and Paimon will definitely be able to complete the task.
You have my thanks, then.
So are you here to test whether we're qualified to inherit Master Xilone's legacy?
You've already been tested, haven't you? Well, frankly speaking, I don't think any of you are qualified. But that's not why I'm here. All you need to do is be good and answer my question.
Fine. Ask away.
You've heard of the Battle of 7 Colors, right?
Of course. It's our master's claim to fame. An immortal legend inscribed in the
Then I'm sure you know there are those who question whether it actually occurred.
I did hear people arguing about that the other day.
It's disgraceful. How can they question something like that?
It doesn't surprise me. Natlan has had more tourism lately. A lot of people have started getting strange ideas after interacting with Outlanders. After all, everyone who took part in the battle has returned to the ley line.
Well, it just so happens The questions I want to ask are directly related to the legitimacy.
Listen, we know you were rivals, but do you really have to question her legacy?
You think she's like you? Someone who can't survive a little scrutiny?
No, of course not.
Then let me finish. During the battle, Xilonen most likely used a technique powerful enough to turn the tides of war. I'm sure she was very proud of it, proud enough to pass it on to her disciples. So, which one of you inherited that
I don't think any of us have heard of it.
Listen, I'm not trying to take it for myself, so be honest. With or without it, I can wipe the floor with any of you.
Yeah, no objections there. But I'm telling the truth. None of us have ever heard of that technique.
What's wrong with her? Why would she let it go extinct?
Master's body of work is massive. No one student could hope to learn all her techniques. Mastering just a few already takes a lot of effort. Master had no choice but to recruit many students, split up what she knew into different portions, and pass it down through various individuals. So even though we see ourselves as representatives of Xilonen School of Shamanism, what we know isn't the sum of her legacy. Actually, I know of a shaman family that inherited some of Master's techniques. The family fell on hard times and lost the right to the priesthood. Still could be worth a shot.
But if they inherited Xilone's secret technique, shouldn't the family be thriving?
Well, it's the only thing I can think of.
All right, give me their address.
I'll mark it out on your map.
To be honest, I'm not optimistic about the future of this investigation. That's because the request came from you. You don't know the power of your own words, do you? Thank you for Add Astro.